But David, what of all the historical inaccuracies of making Manson? Twilighters, come on. Did we not know that this was just going to be a thing for neophytes? Please. That's why you tune in here. We know you know the most about the case. We don't have to dredge up all the same shit over and over and over and over. I think the positive thing that came out of this and what I was saying yesterday, Twilighters, besides Happy Thanksgiving and may you all be loving and have a great weekend, was it's pretty obvious. You know, this thing was made to put on the mainstream mainframe. And I don't think it's negative because it's an alternative. It's not the best. But there's a lot of things, of course, that got left out. There's no time. There's no time. They couldn't even... They had 3 hours to work with and never dealt with why he was in jail. So there's no blood on his hands, all these different things. Well, those need context. We're not going to run out of time here. We have context. And guess what? There's another episode. We can keep talking. And you can be involved. And if there's a correction that needs to be made, hey, let's get it corrected. It happens to me all the time. That's why I'm doing this thing. I need to know. I need to share what I know so that false narratives don't continue to be developed. There's going to be some stuff spin off of this that isn't good. I think that John Michael guy, aside from his weird sweatshirt, I can't even do the thing with the, hi, what's up, man? Hey, you know what Charlie was saying, bro? I don't like that element of this case, that every talking head is either Blue, who just comes off so fucking bad in the press. She's just like, never put a camera on Blue, bro. She's going to say things like, these people deserve to die. Charlie Manson, because that's all they're looking for. She'll say an hour of incredible things, and then they take the 15 seconds of her saying some wild ass shit, and that's all we're ever going to hear from her. So it was good that she wasn't on it, but George being on there, you know, kind of a similar thing that he puts out pretty regularly. So, you know, he's consistent, keeping the goodbye helter-skelter spirit alive. I would like to hear all this other stuff. What's he got? What's he really got? How are we going to hear it? Now that NBC has the rights, I'm kind of thinking they're going to deep six it. Like, because if they bought the rights to use it, I don't know if John Michael has control anymore. That's a very good question. But basically, when we get down to it, they could have potentially bought this footage and then just, oh yeah, guess what? We're going to use these little things, and then we're going to take these hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage and put them with the text tapes. Put them with the Brian Wilson tapes. Because that's another episode we're going to have here pretty soon, is talking about the music that Charles Manson was cheated out of. We're not just talking that one song, Never Learn Not to Love, right? Cease to exist, cease to resist, cease to... That's funny. That's a lot of Scientology there again. So, in these questions, we are going to look at, what about the album or two? There's supposed to be like 15, 20 songs that are tucked away in Brian Wilson's vaults that were written and performed by Charles Manson. So, wouldn't it be crazy? Dude, can you imagine? Okay. These things happen. These murders happen. Charlie's clearly out of the picture. Anybody knew him? Anybody had these relationships with him? Poof. We don't know this guy. We never had a fucking relationship with him. And it's coming out more and more how many people were involved with him, how deeply they were involved. And this is all very natural. It's not like, da, 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 da. My friends have done some gnarly shit. I know some scary fucking people. I'm not here on Front Street with their business. You know what I mean? It's just not how I get down. And I'm not even a fucking celebrity. You know? But you've got all these things going, like Robert Evans and all these people who are big in the business, all these people who murder their wives and different things who happen later in life. They don't need any fucking attention like this. But when we really look at Charles Manson's deep involvement with the Hollywood industry, the music industry, all the things that could potentially have happened, what if, okay? Let's get into the alternative fantasy writing, okay? This is strictly fan fantasy. What if they get in that vault? Charles Manson music is released and it's good. What if they actually produce some of these songs? Because we only hear about Charlie getting mad and taking off. Like, you know, I'm not uncomfortable with this. I don't like that. And he leaves, right? That's the standard narrative. Okay, fan fiction here. David Rogerson projecting his fantasies into reality, okay? What if there was an EP or even an LP's worth of material that Charles Manson wrote that was good? If he had some solo performances, maybe some girls singing along with him on a couple of numbers. What if they actually were produced? What if Brian Johnson in one of his hazed out stupors, or maybe he wasn't in a stupor. Maybe this was going to be a good thing. It was going to be a good part of his career and Brother Records and all the things they were talking about, right? With the wizard. What if it was fucking good? And everyone has said it was bad just to keep the narrative flat. Because if Brian Wilson had produced a record of his music, it was fucking good. And these murders had happened, right? It's already a big enough black mark on the Beach Boys legacy until people like Mike Love and all these people turn it into the only selling point of their books from their now pathetic fucking career. It sucks because, I mean, I'm a huge Beach Boys fan. That early shit was awesome. It was like the Freshmen to the next level. I don't know if you're familiar with the vocal group, the Freshmen. Check them out. That was the precursor to, and a heavily influence, of course, on the Wilsons' father, who's a total fucking tyrant. That dude is a fucking really bad person. Yeah, bad guy. So this is why the story won't ever. But I put it out there for speculation. Because I'm reading a book now by A.S. Cassidy. I don't know if that's a nom de plume or not. It's called Rise. It was recommended by Deb Silva, and it's an interesting way to tell some opinions on the case. So far, I'm a couple chapters in. It's going to be a really quick read. I'll finish it today and get back with you on it. But what if there's a respectable Charles Manson recording of his compositions and original music played by Charles, sung by Charles? What if there's backup vocals by people like Red and other people? Can we ask Red about that? Like, what the fuck? What if there, seriously, just get your mind around that. What if a lot of this was about, again, this is fantasy, Brian Johnson, the singer for AC/DC, who lost his hearing, right? Has nothing to do with this conversation. But Brian Wilson, however, produced a record by Charles Manson. Maybe Neil Young heard it. Maybe other people heard it. And they're all getting excited. They're about to release this thing. And by that, I don't mean immediately have it come out like it wasn't going to come out in 1969, perhaps. But maybe it was going to be a holiday release or something. And Let's just think. They had the recording together. They're getting the artwork together. They've got their own label. They're going to pull some stuff together in Hollywood and have a traditional, holiday release cycle on a Charles Manson record. And then these murders happen, right? So they have these recordings. They can't be associated with the guy in any way. Fuck. Anyway, these are the things I think about sometimes. And as Twilighters, if you give a shit, my thoughts are yours. I know I care about your thoughts. What do you think about this? And let me know what's going on with y'all, because I am learning so much from all the private messages. But if you'd subscribe, and if you'd blast the comments, then we can get some shit moving. Until then, Twilighters.